Before we get into today's video, I would like to offer our thoughts and prayers, as well as our condolences, to everyone affected by the tragedy in Tumbler Ridge, British Columbia.
Can they take the lead on this drive?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Canadian Football Central, CFL content for the fans, by the fans. We got another signing, this time for the BC Lions, as Maxime Rouyer signs with the Lions. He re-signs. He'll be sticking around. He was a linebacker for them. He's been there for the last 4 years, played in Edmonton in 2021 and 2023. Then he's been in BC ever since, where he's been mostly a special teams piece, although occasionally has played on defense a bit. So last year, he had played 8 games, got 2 special teams tackles, just kind of being a consistent piece of their special teams. I remember seeing Nathan Rourke posting about how he was happy to see him stick around. So interesting, though, is that he's a newly nationalized linebacker, which I'm not exactly sure why he wasn't a national before, because he was born in France. But he had played at McGill University. Like, he had played U Sports. He was a U Sports alumni, so I'm not sure why his status, because, I know he's not necessarily a national in the sense of that he's born in Canada, but usually if you play U Sports, your status is as a national. But he's now nationalized, so this is that was a special exception granted by the CFL. And that was to bring his status in line with the other international U Sports alumni that are playing in the CFL. But it's interesting because that was something that happened just literally under a week ago. JC Abbott's article about that came out on February 6th. But I'm just going to kind of read out a little bit of that article regarding that change. CFL was granted linebacker Maxime Rouyer a one-time exemption to the league's roster rules, changing his status from global to national for the remainder of his career. CFL and its Players Association struck the deal to bring the Frenchman's status in line with that of other foreign-born U Sports alumni who are allowed to qualify as nationals under the current collective bargaining agreement, so long as they have played at least 3 seasons and graduated from their U Sports institution. That rule was not in force when Rouyer graduated from McGill University. Okay. So he followed the rules, like in the sense of he under the current rules would be fine, but because he had graduated when the rules were different, he was kind of shit out of luck. But it's good to see that they make that change. I think that's very fair. You know what I mean? Be kind of unfair for newer global players to come in and immediately have that advantage just because of the year they happen to come in. You know what I mean? This is kind of, there were other people over time that had something similar happen. Notably, former kicker Boris Beatty, who's also from France. He had went and attended Laval. He had continued to be counted as an American technically until his last season, because neither the current national rules nor the global program existed when he was a rookie. So just kind of an interesting thing about kind of those statuses. But he, if we're just kind of look here, he was how old is he? He's 31 years old now. He was originally selected in 4th overall in the first round of the 2019 CFL European Draft, which is the precursor to now the modern global draft. He was drafted by the Edmonton Elks. He spent 2 seasons there before he got released and found his way over to BC. So seems to be a special teams guy over with the Lions. Rick, any thoughts on that?
Just looking at his numbers, he had 8 games played, 2 tackles, so you can tell he doesn't get much playing time.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was when he was a global player, so I'm assuming that he'll get more playing time.
As a national, that's probably going to help. Yeah.
So if you actually look at their,
I'm curious to see if this was Rouyer who had initiated this. You know what I mean? This transition from being a global player to a national. If he was just kind of like, hey, I've seen this has happened with this guy, and this guy. Can we like get this all fixed up for me? I was curious if it was him or like I'm sure this has went through the Players Association and the CFL as they had mentioned. They granted that exception, but I'm not sure.
What I was going to actually say was they actually have 10 linebackers signed, and only 2 of them are Americans. The rest of them are nationals.
Oh yeah.
So you can bet that weak side linebacker and the weak side linebacker will be Canadian. The middle linebacker will be American.
Yeah. So we'll have to see though, because looks like BC is doing pretty well with their linebacker group. And it was one of those things where I think it was nice for Lions fans that they had something to talk about on free agent day because they didn't have much until the signing. Later on, there was another one that would come through that they'd be able to chat about, but it was a pretty quiet day for them, but they did eventually get a signing, and Maxime Rouyer will be sticking around with the BC Lions. Is there anything else you got there, Rick?
No, sir.
All right, thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. Make sure you guys leave a like, share it around, and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, if you guys haven't, make sure you guys join our Discord. Link in the description below to our Discord where we discuss all things CFL, NHL, all sorts of sports stuff, so go check it out. Yeah, without further ado, we'll see you guys next time.